AJ Francis here. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. A very, very sad day for Arsenal Football Club. We've just been knocked out of the Champions League round of 16 by Bayern Munich. And what is so deflating about that, Martin Keown just said it at the end, he feels as flat as the performance. And I agree. There's been a lot of talk since the Aston Villa game, since the Aston Villa loss. We got back-to-back losses. Liverpool also had back-to-back losses. And it's just that crumbling at the end of the season. The reason I call it a crumbling is because we didn't really give the best account of ourselves. Though I don't know who walks off that pitch. Our team is going to walk off that pitch having played a 5 out of 10 performance. And I don't mean a 5 out of 10 performance in terms of technical ability. You can't deal with technical ability on the day. You can't deal with some of these things on the day, tactics on the day. These things need to be worked on. These things, we need to highlight the right players and the rest of it. But on the day, it's about work rate, desire, flying into challenges, all of that kind of stuff. We didn't see any of that today, any of that at all. Do you know what I mean? And really, to be honest with you, for about 65 minutes of the game, we didn't see any of that from Bayern Munich either. And the reason we didn't see that from Bayern Munich is because they just didn't need to. We didn't force them to play really difficult football. They had, I think it was Guerrero hit a cross. It was a good cross. They just had a little spell of play. Guerrero hit a crossover, and Kimmich runs in and gets the header. And it was a well-worked goal from them, but it was more a moment of impulse. We didn't see, for the rest of the game, we didn't see Guerrero we didn't see Kimmich making third man runs. We didn't see Kimmich popping shots from the box. We didn't, from the edge of the box, didn't see Kimmich running into the box to get a late run. That it wasn't necessarily the game plan. When you get to these games in the Champions League, or even at the end of the season in the league, but especially in cup competition, it's not so much about the game plan that happens. It's about a moment, just pulling a moment out. And that the goal that they scored was not something that they necessarily worked on. They didn't come to this game expecting this is how they're going to score. That wasn't coming off of the that wasn't drawn up on the training ground. That was just a moment of initiative from the player to say, hit me. Guerrero looks up, sees a space, hits the ball, and Kimmich runs in. And what we've done so far this season, and what we've done under Mikel Arteta, is we've got really, really good game plans, and we are struggling to find anyone in our team that has given us moments. Last season, even though this season we are arguably performing better as a team, last season we actually probably, in my opinion, had more moments. You've got the comeback at Bournemouth. You've got the late goal from Jorginho. There were more moments in that season for me. This season has been, if we're behind, we lose, and if we go out and play our best, we win, and that's that. And obviously, yes, against Man City and Liverpool, we got the draws, but everyone looked flat. There was a real lack of belief, and the Mikel Arteta is going to come under fire, and I think that he's done a brilliant job. Yes, it's taken 4 years to turn around the club, and now I do think that the club is in a place where, if we get the right manager, but if we get the right players, we should be competing for titles. Unless, we're competing for a title this season. We competed for a title, although it wasn't close in the end last season. We weren't in the Champions League last season. We went out in the round of 16. We're in the Champions League now. We've gone out in the round of 16 to Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich are a very good team. No disrespect to them. But, normally you would say there's no shame in going out to Bayern Munich. They're normally one of the favourites going into this competition, etc. But this is a wounded Bayern Munich team. Not only is it a wounded Bayern Munich team, this is a wounded Bayern Munich team that has injuries, that has players out. Suspended. Alphonso Davies out suspended. Gnabry injured. Sane not fit enough for a full 90. Different players having to come in, and we still are not able to find those moments. And that's what we've lacked this season, to be honest with you. From a game plan perspective, from a tactical perspective, we're good. Not amazing, not the best, but when you need a moment, who can step up and give us that moment? And again, Saka, I don't know whether he's playing for an injury or not. That's what people are saying, but he's got to find a moment. There was a moment late on in the game where a ball's crossed into the box from him, and he puts it right foot across the box. Go for goal, or try and dummy, cut in, do something. For me, once he went one-on-one with Mazraoui, you could see that Saka can cook this guy. Once we saw the first one-on-one where he kind of ran at him and he took it to the byline, got the cross away, we said, you know what? Okay, fine, Saka's got this guy. He can do it. And then for the rest of the game, he just didn't do it. He just didn't do it. I thought Ben White was decent today. I will say that. I thought Ben White was decent. I thought the centre-backs as well, although they were poor for the goal that we conceded, I'll say that they were decent. They had, Bayern Munich had a lot of set pieces, a lot of corners especially. and our defense pretty much held up from that. It was actually an open play goal that we scored, and I think it's probably Tomiyasu. I need to see it again. It's either Gabriel or Tomiyasu that should be covering that run from Joshua Kimmich, and yeah, that's a poor moment. But outside of that, I don't really think Raya did anything wrong. I don't really think that Ben White did anything wrong. But at the same time, did Ben White do anything amazingly? No. I mean, the fullbacks did some overlapping runs just to create space for the wingers. In that space wasn't really exploited. What we aren't at the moment, what we aren't is killers. We're a very, very good team, but we lack a killer instinct. You go back a couple of seasons and look at Spurs. And I'm just thinking about Spurs because obviously Harry Kane's playing for Bayern Munich now, and I think about Spurs and I think when Son had a slow start to this season, but when Son or Kane got played in behind, if your defender made a mistake, your DM made a mistake, and someone played a ball in behind, and it was Son running in on goal or even running one-on-one at a defender, you think this is going to be a goal. Almost certainly, you think this is going to be a goal. When Haaland's at his best and he's running at your defender, you think this is probably going to be a goal. When I'm watching Gabriel Jesus run at goal earlier this season, even when I'm watching Gabriel Jesus against Man United run at Onana and Dalot, do I think in my head this is definitely going to be a goal? No. I'm happy when it is a goal. I know he's a talented player, but do I have that feeling in my head? If he doesn't score, am I in shock? Not really. Do you know what I'm saying? With Martinelli running in behind, the same. With Saka, I'm a little bit more expecting him to score. Saka's the only one. I think that's the difference. A lot of fans don't understand why we rate Saka, and I think it's because if Saka's played in behind, or if Martinelli's played in behind, and he's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, with Saka, if he misses, we're shocked. If Martinelli, if he misses, we go, okay, we're not really shocked. He should have scored, but we're not shocked. And other than Saka, I don't know who else there is that we could say I really think. And obviously, yes, a lot of players don't get played in behind, but we're playing Kai Havertz in this number 9 position. And he got played in behind a few times today. He got played behind a couple of times, which is a luxury position against a team that's as defensively sound as Bayern Munich in the Champions League round of 16 to get played in behind their defensive line. You're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and there's a lack of urgency. But we know that with Havertz. We're not disappointed. It's frustrating, but we already know that. We're not expecting Kai Havertz to do things that he can't do. But Saka in the last couple of months has really, really, really dropped off. And the conversation will be, he's been very consistent for the last few years. Can he do it at that level? Can he do it when the pressure's on? Can he do it when you demand it of him? Or do these players, especially Saka and Martinelli, do they just play better when there's no pressure on them? Because it's a different type of environment. You look back at Trent, the corner taken quickly moment, or the Kai Havertz moment for Chelsea and different things like that. Those moments, those big, as we call them all the time, big game players. Do we have big game players? You go all the way back to a Drogba. Did he score week in, week out? No. Saka scores more goals in the Premier League than Drogba ever did. However, in a cup final, you don't want Saka, you want Drogba. And those are the players that we need. And then we've got to look at the manager. With Arteta, like I say, I think he's done really, really well to bring us as far as he has. I'm a big fan of him. I'm not jumping on the Arteta out bandwagon or anything like that. For me, we need one more season. If he doesn't win a trophy this season, yes, there's going to be questions asked, as there should be. But I think without a real clear, this guy's the go-to guy, if there's somebody else out there that's like, yeah, this is the go-to guy, this is the next big manager, then fair enough. But at the moment, I'm not seeing that. So, I think we stay the course because I think that we're close. We still have some way to go to upgrade our squad, although the team's looking more and more like his teams. But the first half was a real chess match. And this is where people are going to question Mikel Arteta going forwards. The first half of the game was a real chess match. It was pretty even. We're at the Allianz Arena. It's 0-0. Okay, it's not great, but it's not terrible. You can't be mad at being round of 16, 45 minutes to play, and you're drawing with Bayern Munich 0-0, 2-2 on aggregate. Fine. That's not a terrible position to be in. But you are expecting at that point a huge lift in performance, a huge lift in flying into challenges, shots, anything. We didn't really force Neuer to make it. I think we forced him to make one save in 90 minutes. That's not good enough. Even if the chance is a half chance and he's going to have a Karius moment, or we didn't have any corners until like the 75th, 80th minute. We've scored the most in the Premier League from corners and set pieces. We should be forcing set pieces. If we can't go and score from open play, force a set piece. That's a strong area for us. I'm not seeing Ødegaard taking shots. I'm not seeing Jorginho have a shot. I'm not seeing Rice have a shot. We're playing it through to Saka. I'm not seeing Saka take his man to the byline, cut it back, get a shot away. Because if we get a corner, we are statistically very likely to score from corners. So force Neuer to make saves, force that chaos, force Dyer. Dyer's not the best centre back. We know that. Put pressure on him. We didn't put any pressure on him today at all. We made it really, really easy. Neuer was very much able. Saka, they know Saka's going to push up because they played the three centre backs, and then Neuer's very easy playing it over Saka's head with Mazraoui out there, and he played a few really, really good passes to him today. Neuer, and obviously Neuer is one of the best keepers, in the world, or one of the best keepers in the world for a long time. So I get you're up against a really imposing figure, but test him. When you get to this stage of a Champions League competition, you test him, you put it on him. Do you know what I mean? And you see what they're made of. And if you come away and say, you know what, fuck me, these guys are good. They're just better than us. They're quicker than us, sharper than us. They're just better than us. Oh my God, what a machine they are. Neuer made 27 saves, and fuck me, we gave them everything, but they managed to survive. Fair enough. Then people are not looking at you saying Arteta out. People are looking at you saying the team's not good enough. But we didn't put it on them. We didn't force shots. We didn't force saves. We didn't force corners. We didn't make them crack under the pressure. We just allowed it to happen. At half-time, we all expected to go to the Allianz Arena and for them to dominate possession of the ball, but they didn't. We dominated possession of the ball, but we didn't do anything with it. And we tend to play football just like a flat, whatever mode we play football in. If we're playing at 4 out of 10, we just play at 4 out of 10. Whereas Bayern played a 4 out of 10 game in the first half, but slowly started to bring it to a 5, to a 6, to a 7, to an 8, and eventually get their goal. And then towards the end, wind it down in order to grind out the result. We didn't do that. There was no rise in our game. Whatever level we played at, that's the level we played at, and we stayed there. And that's where people are going to ask questions of Mikel Arteta. Can he motivate the team? Can he? And yes, the defenders are going to say it's down to the players to motivate themselves, 100%. But can he instill belief into this team or into any team at this top level? What is the reason that players listen to Pep or listen to Klopp? Or now listen to Xabi Alonso at the top level. When I say top level, I'm talking about winning your domestic league or winning the Champions League. Yes, he won the FA Cup. I get that. At that time, maybe you could put that down to new manager bounce. Who knows? But drive, highlighting players that have the drive. The players out there that I think are going to go. The players that can hang their head and say, you know what, I gave everything I could today. I do think Ben White was good. I do. I thought Ødegaard was good, actually, to be honest with you. I thought Ødegaard was good. He didn't shoot enough. Big problem with him. It's been a problem with him all season. He doesn't shoot enough. However, picking up the ball, receiving it on half turns, they tried to crowd him out of the game as much as possible. And even though, for me, I play football, I can see he's trying to get into it. He doesn't look around him and go, oh, I'm marked. Don't pass to me. He wants the responsibility. I'll try and go here and get into space. I'll try and go here and get into it. He's trying. It's difficult. It didn't work. But he was trying to do that. I get that. I think Ben White and Ødegaard, I don't think the rest of them can really do that. Declan Rice has the ball at the end. It could just put it in the box, doesn't put it in the box, sends it wide to Trossard. Declan Rice, sometimes he's got the ball cut back to him on the edge of the box. Like at West Ham, he's just smashed it into the top bins. Go for a shot. We didn't see that today. That's where people say there's a space for Thomas Partey in this team, or a Thomas Partey type player, if not him, because he can't stay fit. If we get rid of him, there's a space for someone there that is going to pick up the ball, drive with it, and get a shot away and just test the goalkeeper. When you go back and look at Thomas Partey's previous performances, a lot of the shots are going to go into Rosette, but if he is going to press the goalkeeper and have a shot and push it into a corner, we can get goals from those corners. Do you know what I mean? Those things have to happen. And Rice, I think, is a fantastic player, but a couple of times now, at these top games, at this crunch point in the season, he's not affecting the game. We could have taken Rice out and had Thomas Partey in today, and would we have massively dropped the level of performance? No. Would we have got smashed 5-0? Probably not. So for £100 million player, we need to see more. We know you're capable because we've seen it in other games. We've seen it against the Uniteds. We've seen it in other games this season. But coming towards the business end of the season, it's always in April for us. April, May, June. That's when we need to see this. Or April and May. Do you know what I mean? It's like we need a March transfer window. Do you know what I'm saying? Just to get fresh bodies in or fresh players in. And like I say, the disappointment isn't that we've lost. We were never favourites to go into the quarterfinals. We were never favourites to beat Bayern Munich. The disappointment is in the nature of how we lost. And that is where there's going to be an inquest in this. And some people are going to put it down to the players. Some people are going to put it down to the manager. Some people are going to put it down to the club. And just saying, I get the experience thing, but just saying it's Arsenal, you bottle it, That's it. I don't want that. Do you mean I want real, actual answers? Let's, as a club and as a fan base, obviously the rivals are going to banter us, and that's fine. But as a club and as a fan base, let's really try to put our heads together and identify why we can't get over the line in the Premier League or in the Champions League, despite having a really good team when the opportunity's there. If we play Bayern and we get smashed 7-0, fine. They're better than us. But on this game and the last game, I don't look at that Bayern team and think they're better than us. Do you mean I look at that Bayern team and think we didn't impose ourselves today. We did not give everything. We didn't even give close to everything today. And it's not good enough.